Hey guys, is the world ready for us, the Three Musketeers? Bringing you another edition of Soar High Personal Development, your source for inspiration. Okay, so much for the humor. Joining me today.
No, it was funny.
This is funny?
Yeah,
Did you like
it
that?
was it was a little awkward, but it was funny.
I think it was perfect.
Sometimes
I
awkward.
enjoyed it.
Sometimes awkward's good, right?
Exactly, I enjoyed it.
So we've got Davin Hunley with an I, beat maker, producer, entertainer.
That's me.
And Mike Rose, a martial artist extraordinaire, also entertainer as well. So today we're going to talk about rudeness and politeness. You might ask why.
Why?
Well, because it's a pretty hot topic.
True.
Personal experience coming back from Las Vegas a few weeks ago. I was almost kicked off the airplane. That's what prompted me to talk about that at the podcast today. I wasn't exactly almost kicked off, but I think if I would have pushed the envelope just a little bit more, I would have got kicked off. Because here's what happened. I didn't have my mask on.
Okay.
And the stewardess said, "Hey," and it was kind of in that tone. It's like, "Hey, put the mask on, sir." I said,
I feel like there might have been a please in there, maybe somewhere.
no, it was like that tone.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, this is Southwest Airlines, who I love. I've been traveling for years. Always a good experience,
Right.
almost always. I thought, well, maybe this girl's having a bad day, a lot of stress, the COVID thing. I get it. And then so she goes up and down the aisle a few more times, and I guess I pulled the mask down over my mouth because it's uncomfortable, right? And I didn't even think about it. She comes by again. "Hey," I said, "put the mask on." And I thought, I wanted to say something, but I thought, I better keep my mouth shut. I'm going to get kicked off the airplane, right? And I don't want that to be the case. So that's
Imagine if you were flying and that happened. What would you do? They're gonna kick you out. They're gonna throw you
no,
out.
they can't kick you out when you're flying, of
Okay.
course. But you're still on the tarmac, so they could definitely make you leave. And I'd heard stories where that's happened a lot.
Oh man, Ronnie, you would have been famous. Oh man,
Oh,
you would have been a
man.
viral sensation for a day or two.
That would have been fun. But
I know. You promote while you're getting kicked off the plane. Don't forget to follow Soar High Personal Development while you're getting kicked off the plane.
crazy. So I say all that to say this. Why are some people cool and polite? Other people are rude. I mean, couldn't she have said that in a different kind of tone?
I agree that she could have, but I also think that I know that you didn't necessarily mean to, but the rule on all airplanes is keep your mask on
I
unless
get
you're
it.
eating or drinking,
I get it.
But she could have been nicer. I do agree with you. I do
And
agree with you.
and shouldn't that be the protocol?
Yes.
I agree.
Pleasantness versus rudeness. Politeness versus rudeness.
I don't know. I don't know. That would have to be a lot of factors.
Well, I can see being rude to somebody that's rude to me,
Well, absolutely.
like tit for tit and tat for tat, maybe. But there's a more professional way. She's in a professional position. Stewardess on a major airline.
How much money do you think she makes?
Not that much.
Not very much.
So maybe that's another reason why she was that way.
Hmm.
Maybe she's got a low self-esteem issue. Maybe this makes her feel powerful. And that's a way for her to feel better
be
about
like
herself.
A feel of she's in a position of quote unquote power over
Power.
passengers.
So that brings up a whole nother discussion about how
Power.
people in these low-paying positions that have power. Give me some examples of that where that would be the case.
A manager, a finish line.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, I only made like $11 an hour as a assistant manager, pretty much assistant manager, and
Pretty much as a
Any-
manager in many days, right? Because you had to run the place.
Yes. And anytime a customer was like being rude to me or like, it was just some BS about you don't have my size or why are my kids' shoes $100, blah, blah, blah. And I'd just be like, if you don't like it, just leave. Like in my head.
But you didn't say that.
I wouldn't be overly mean, no. But there were times where I'll tell a story. There was this guy coming in. He wanted to return a pair of shoes that had been obviously worn. Our policy was you can't get money back from
Barely
worn
used.
shoes. Yeah, and they were obviously worn. And he was making a
Creased
big
up.
deal about it. And he was getting kind of upset. And I was like, man, listen, this is the policy. If you have a problem, I can give you the number for customer service.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with it.
You don't write the rules, you just follow them.
Exactly.
Where have I heard that before?
And
From you.
he went on and he said, listen here, boy.
Boy.
And
them's fighting words.
I said, boy. I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? Out loud in front of customers. I was the only manager there. I said what I said, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that. You know, I didn't mean it like that." Blah blah. I was like, "Just get the fuck out of my store right now."
Dang.
And he tried to speak over me, and I yelled it, literally yelled it, and he eventually walked out. I don't know. He called customer service.
Did he leave the sneakers there?
No, he took them.
Oh.
I don't know. He called customer service, but I don't remember if somebody helped him or not.
Nobody helped him.
I didn't care enough, but I will say nobody really said anything in the store. It was just kind of like.
Did you have any negative feedback from up above your management, or
No,
nobody's ever said a word?
Well, my main manager, he did say something. He said, "You can't like scream and cuss at customers," and I said, "I get that, but you know." Whether he was being quote unquote racist or prejudiced in any way doesn't matter to me.
Sounds like a racist tone to me.
Yeah, the way that it came off that's how it sounded to me. It made me feel very uncomfortable.
So let's break it down a little further. Like I get that you were defending your position, but could you have done it in a more eloquent sort of way?
Yes.
And had you to do it over again, would you have?
Yes, I would have.
So tell me how you would have handled it, like the Davin today.
I probably would have said, "I'm sorry you feel that way." I see. I'm kind of a trickster now. I probably would have I don't know. I probably would have taken his shoes and I don't know. I would have done something to make it to where he felt stupid.
In other words, like held him up and go, "Yeah, they are a little bit used." Would you say?
Yeah.
As an example, or something along the lines of making him feel silly and stupid because he did something stupid to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
But in a humorous sort of way.
right.
Perfect.
Not to like, make fun of him. But here's another funny thing that I thought of about what New Davin would do. This is a little off topic.
Okay.
I had 2 younger kids come in. They were probably 18, 16, 17, somewhere around in that age. And they wanted to try some shoes on. And I was kind of new at management, and I wasn't thinking. It was the middle of the day. I wasn't worried about it. And I come back and I see them walking out with the shoes in the box. And I stepped outside of the store and I said, "You guys want to give me my shoes back?" And they just kind of looked at me and laughed. And our policy isn't don't chase them because there's no need to. They're just shoes. So I didn't. But today I would have said, "Oh, you two broke for the shoes. I see how it is." And that would have made him feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's just something I thought about.
And by the way, on another subject, that Walmart has that policy as well. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I know I used to train under a jiu-jitsu guy at one point, and that's what he did for a living, was he would run people down outside of the store, even if they were stealing property. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, Mike?
Yeah, chase their ass.
Chase them down.
Yeah.
I've chased a
They
couple
Beat them with a
people.
stick.
Yeah. You think about old fashioned.
Old
They would
fashioned.
kill them.
What would they have done in the old days?
They would have killed them.
Literally.
Yes.
I would.
They would have fucking killed
You think
them.
it's too watered down now?
Yeah, it's way watered down. That's why
Just
people
let them
get-
go.
that's
Just
why-
let them go.
That's why people get away with shit.
And then it gives
They
them a
would've
sense of
fucking killed them
empowerment,
back
don't
in
you
the day.
think?
Well, I think it's power.
to do
I
it
think
again
it's
and
power
again
in
and
both
again.
ways. Yeah, but if we're talking about stealing in general, it's
terrible.
There's reasons why people do it.
Didn't they used to cut people's hands off in the old
Yeah.
days? Like literally
Yeah.
cut them off?
They do that in China. Well, they said that they did that in China at one point. Now you can be arrested for theft in China for any type of theft.
I mean,
they
I
get
think
a
that's a
fruit.
little bit too harsh, but
I think so too.
but just to let them get away with it, no, I think that's terrible.
I've chased after people 2 times. One, we actually ran and tried to run them down, me and another associate, and it didn't work. And the thing is, they only stole a $15 bottle of crap that, it's not a big deal.
But it's the principle of
I
it.
agree. I'll get to it. There was a second time the kid left his old shoes in the box and he wore the other shoes out. He stole them.
Okay.
I didn't chase him. I walked calmly and I went to him and I found him and I said, "Hey man, I think you forgot your shoes in our store."
Hey man,
And he was like, "Damn, you got me."
you got
I
me.
walked him all the way back. He put his old rowdy shoes back on
Okay.
and walked out. And I said, "Yep."
Beautiful.
Now, here's the thing I want you to think about when chasing someone down. So, say I'm the one working at the store and I don't have any training or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't have a weapon on me. but the person that's stealing wants this thing so bad that they would harm me to get it. So I chase after them and I get out to the parking lot and and they just shoot me. You know, I would rather not chase. They can have those $200 pair of shoes than my life.
Well, but I
Personally.
think the odds of them shooting you are probably fairly low. What do you think
Well,
about this, Mike? How would you
I think
address what he's
Davin's
saying?
right. If they're crazy enough and reckless enough to put their motherfucking shoes on there and look at you and dead in the eyes
And
and
walk out.
walk out, they're crazy enough.
I don't agree with that. I think I think you should. I think you should go after them.
I've done some shit in my life where I wasn't proud of, but I can understand from being on the other side of the
I don't think you
fence.
should let them get away with it. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're changing the subject. I don't think anybody should get away with it.
But Davin's saying don't go after him.
No.
No,
I'm
Davin
saying
did not
you
say
should,
that.
You should.
Davin did
but
not say that.
In the sense of
Davin was saying about his life.
Well, yeah, but you don't know if they have a gun or not. I think you have to go. You can't.
That's the point.
You cannot think in those terms. You have to go
No,
after somebody
okay.
stealing.
Remember,
if
Ron,
they've got a gun, you can
Ron,
always back away.
Ron, remember, I think I do agree with you a little bit, but I agree with Davin more on the subject. You have to think for yourself first of all, especially self-defense. You have to think for yourself.
Well, that's why you take self-defense.
But at the same time, when you think for yourself, you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking. I cannot control this person.
Exactly.
And this person was reckless enough to do this deed. He does not care about his life, and he's willing to risk it all.
They're crazy, man. I've seen some crazy
well,
people.
I still think you should chase them down.
Absolutely,
and get your
no
merchandise
one
back.
disagreed about that.
If they pull a
think you're
gun on
right.
you, then that's one thing. But I don't think most people are going to pull a gun. They might pull a knife. They might threaten you. They might throw a swing at you. But that's where self-defense comes in.
See, but not every person that works retail knows self-defense.
Well, no, but I'm saying that that I would chase them down. That
Right.
Mike would probably chase them down. I think that's what doing self-defense technique gives you that confidence to
I
do
agree.
that. Now, are you going to get in trouble sometimes? Maybe. But I'm not going to live my life in fear.
That was also another policy in the store. You could get fired for chasing someone
Yep.
down.
That's
and touching
crazy.
them.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
crazy to me.
That's real.
But go ahead.
But no, I was saying in general, we're all when you're a young kid, you do a lot of crazy things.
I understand that. I
so-
got caught shoplifting when I was a kid.
Yeah, so it happens, but I'm saying when your mindset's not in the right place, especially when you get your adrenaline pumping, don't know how to control it, and you're not thinking clearly. I have to agree with Davin just because of even retail. I remember when I worked at Walmart, you weren't allowed, if you saw them stealing, you weren't allowed to say nothing to them, tell them to put it back, nothing. You just see it and you tell a manager, and that's it.
And also in their budget for the year, every big billion-dollar company has some LP
Oh yeah,
built in.
but
it's not
also,
the money; it's the principle.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
I agree.
It's the principle of it.
But I see what
People
you're saying.
should not be
I see what
allowed
you're
to
saying.
get away with crap
see what
like
you're
that because all it does is makes them feel like they can keep doing it to more
Yeah,
people.
I get you're saying in general, but I was saying for him when you were talking about the subject, I agree with Davin about the subject, but when you're saying chase them down or not, I believe that if the world could chase them down, sorry, I'm really close to the mic, really you could chase them down, I do agree with you that they need to be chased down and something need to be apprehended and something needs to be done because they need to learn a lesson.
Yep.
Because some people have not learned those lessons.
And maybe the way you handle them may depend on their attitude. If their attitude
Yes.
is severe, maybe they
Yes.
deserve a
That's what I was gonna
a
that's what-
smackdown.
That's what I was gonna say about
If their attitude is good, maybe you
politeness
give them
and
a
rudeness.
shot. And maybe give them another opportunity to do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And which Davin and say in that sense, Davin told him and the guy did the right thing because Davin put a little pressure
In
on
that
him.
case, it was perfect.
But he was verbally saying hey man, that's not the right thing to do. He was being the angel on that
I
guy's
get
shoulder,
it.
Right.
I think
And-
Davin handled that
And it
just
also
right.
is different with kids. For me, they're not. To most people, they're not kids, but 14, 16, 17,
Okay.
18,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Okay. Let's go full circle.
Okay.
Let's go back to the original. Politeness versus rudeness.
Damn, I was ready to hear you, Davin. Okay, so I wanted to say something.
Okay.
So I think when you're speaking to somebody, I think distance of how you're speaking and where you're speaking from. Don't yell across the room if you have something you need to say or
Good
somebody
point.
I agree.
or something for somebody to do. I do realize this, say being I never really had the spotlight of being I always wanted to be a leader my whole life, and I finally had the opportunity for a lot of good people in my life. So very blessed. But I've learned a lot of things on the way. There's some people that get too big for their britches, and they think they're the big dog or a big shot. I'm not saying anybody in this room. I'm not saying anybody in this room, but I'm saying things that happened in my life, and I've realized, you need to have a good distance. How you're speaking verbally to somebody. Don't yell across the room if you need something done. Talk to them face to face, and I would say definitely that eye contact and tone, demeanor and body language is another key. Just to set the example or set the pace for trying to be more polite than rude, because it is rude. And not trying to give you don't give too much eye contact. It just depends. Then you give a little bit, okay? But also face your body towards them. Speak to them at a good distance. Be polite and say please at the end. Don't be too good to say please at the end. If you want
Okay.
something done, just say please. Could you please do this for me? And then that's it.
So let's analyze. Let's analyze the psychology of it all. Why are some people cool when they talk to somebody, and other people are rude when they talk to somebody? What's behind the scenes?
Rank power, rank power positioning.
Respect too.
Well,
maybe they demand respect because they're not getting respect from other people. But maybe that's some of it.
But it goes down the line. Like think of it like a manager to like a employee. The employee, you don't have to respect the employee. That's what they think in their mind. That's what managers think.
But why would somebody have this attitude that they have to be rude versus being professional? Is my question.
Because they hate themselves.
No, that's a good.
That's just
analysis.
Point blank. They don't love themselves.
They don't love themselves.
They hate their job.
Love themselves.
And people.
Why do they hate themselves?
I forgot what it's called, but some people get a rise from negative things. Like they love when they could just tick you off and piss you off, and it feeds them.
It feeds them. But why do they need that scent? Why do they need that feeling? Why do they hate? Why do they hate themselves, Mike?
Because they're sick in the fucking head. Because they don't love themselves.
Why don't they love themselves? There's reasons why.
Well,
what are the reasons?
It's very simple. It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot of things.
Well, let's talk about
them.
Let's talk about them.
I think
let's break it down.
Self-consciousnly, like it'd be one of them.
How about they don't feel accomplished?
They didn't have good goal setting. Being
how about they've been beaten down by their superiors their whole life?
Good family environments, and I think
family environment. I think you're right. It's a big deal.
It could be a numerous of things. But
okay, let's talk about family environment. Let's just talk about that for a minute. So the kid comes along, and the parents treat him like crap. And so the kid has a poor self-image of himself. Growing up, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm no good, because the parents beating them down, like verbally beating, or maybe physically. I have a lot of friends where they tell me their parents have physically beat them down.
Emotionally is another one. There's all of them together.
My parents never beat me down, but I had a sense growing up that I wasn't, like my mother used to say, "How come you didn't do better?" It made me feel like I wasn't accomplishing enough. Now, in her mind, that was a way to help me to be more assertive and more ambitious. But in my mind, I always felt like, God, I'm not good enough.
And that's emotional abuse. It's not as severe as some cases, but that could be considered.
So you think all this contributes to this whole thing of feeling like you don't love yourself, like you hate yourself?
I think
the family environment.
I think so.
I think it's one key. I don't think it's the only one.
What else? Yeah. Setting goals as a kid and not getting there, not making
a part of a team, not being enough.
Makes you feel bad about yourself.
Traumatic events, just in general.
Traumatic events like losing maybe somebody in your
life that
you
cared
love. About.
Yeah. It could be a cat, dog, grandmother.
So that creates anger, frustration, anxiety.
Being sexually assaulted.
I was sexually assaulted when I was like 9-10 years old by a male, and I didn't even know what sex was. But I never grew up being homophobic. But, when I look back on that, it's like I can see where that could have contributed.
That can also...
But fortunately, it didn't for me, because I'm an open-minded guy when it comes to not hating on somebody's sex gender.
Right.
It's not my trip, but I'm not going to hate on somebody either.
Right.
Because I went through something like that.
That can also cause a disdain for men just in general.
I have a hard time, like... shaking. It's hard for I grapple every night, but sometimes it's really uncomfortable for me.
Right.
I don't say anything, but I've had to learn to manage it.
Well, what I'm getting at is there's another. You guys are also overlooking rudeness in the sense of
Well, what causes is where I'm getting at.
right. What I'm
Trying to get
saying,
to the
what I'm
core.
saying is that rudeness can also come from, say, your peers. So there's this person in my class, and they are they're nice, but they have this passive aggressive rudeness, and this person is not above me or below me or anything. But sometimes they say rude things, just in general to everyone.
Okay.
And they were sexually assaulted in their life, and I think that that's what kind of caused it. Kind of this disdain towards people in general,
Anger.
anger, trust issues. I'm just trying to say that it's more than just in the work environment
Okay.
or in your. It can happen in your everyday life, is what I'm saying. There can be people that are rude that like I know this person fairly well. They're not my best friend, but I know them fairly well, and like they're still fairly rude to me.
So let's get on the other side of the coin. What can we do to encourage people to maybe
Hey, I
be
got
less
something.
rude and go ahead.
Less rude.
Less rude and more
Perfect.
professional.
I got
and
something.
more
I got
professional,
something.
more polite when it comes
Start-
to dealing with things they don't like.
Anybody that's listening, start holding the door for people.
I like that.
Hold the door when they walk up, or you're
Thank
walking
you.
out. Look behind you. Hold the door. Don't be a jackass. And if they don't say thank you, I sometimes have to catch myself not saying
Say
anything.
you're welcome.
I almost say something. I have to catch myself. I stop myself. I don't say anything anymore. I used to look at him and be like, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
But I don't say anything
I
anymore.
get where
you
you're
know.
coming from. Yeah.
See, I do it in a very passive aggressive way. And see, this is the other thing.
Oh, I'm more aggressive.
You also have to know that sometimes you're rude. Like I'm rude. So I'll tell a story in a second, but I do it in a passive aggressive way. I'm like, you're welcome. Before they can even say thank you, I'm just
I
you're
got
welcome.
I got you.
You know,
I got
and
you.
That's
then
actually a
they're
good idea. You know.
They're like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story.
That's
Ready?
actually a
Ready for this
good
one?
way to put it, Devin.
So,
Thank you.
This is a cute little story. So
Cute?
cute. Kind of
Just
cute.
like me.
Just like you.
Yep.
So I'm at the gym working out, and there's this really attractive lady in there, and I also like to flirt with her. And so I walk in the building, and I hold like Mike said, I held the door open for her. I go, age before beauty. I said, no, I meant beauty before age. Well, she got mad at me and has never talked to me since. I think one time I said it the wrong way. I meant to say beauty before age, but it did come out like that.
Well, it is age before beauty.
Well, but I turned it around
you wanted to turn
compliment
around.
her.
Yep.
Right, exactly. And it came out wrong.
See where that got you? Nowhere.
Got
That's why I keep my mouth shut.
There you go.
Hey, more is less.
My
More is
story.
less.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Actually, less is more.
Less is more.
My story that I was going to tell you about, like, you know, sometimes you have to realize that you are the person being rude. Was that there is this other person in this same class, and they love to talk to me, and it's not about anything specific. It feels very playful, but like they're trying too hard to be funny. Like this was the class where I talked about Mike and our album and everything.
Okay.
And today this person said our professor was playing music and he was like, go throw some DeRose up there. Go throw some DeRose up there. And like it just sounded like
he was being rude.
Yeah, it just sounded like he was being a jackass.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I was just being rude back. I was just like, fuck off, man. Like, I don't know. You just have
tit
to,
for tit, tat for tat.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to realize
I get it.
that you're being rude.
I get it.
as well. But there's not a problem with a slight bit of rudeness.
I like
sometimes.
Mike's antidote to the rudeness, which is open the door for people.
Right.
That's cool. That's very polite.
You know,
And chivalry.
Here's another one. I didn't mean to cut you off because that's another one I was gonna say. Don't try not to cut. I'm sorry, I get better at it, which I am. I'm pretty good at it. People like that, Devin, I just kill them with kindness.
Right. Exactly.
And that's all I do.
Exactly.
I just kill them with kindness. And I do that for majority of people that I'm associate or hang around with, or just people. Only reason I've had to learn that a long time ago. Like my sister the other day. No offense to my sister. I'm pretty sure she don't watch this, but she said something like on borderline that it would have old me would have pissed me off really bad. But I just killed it with kindness.
Good for
You know,
you.
it waters off a duck
That
back.
shows a lot of progress on your part, Mike.
You know, no, I appreciate it. But if I didn't hang around you, you know, fuck. I did hear something I was watching something on Facebook. It was like the 33% thing. I really did enjoy it, what he said. What he basically said, you have the 33% of the time you hang out with somebody above you, hang out with your regular folk, and then somebody below you or just needs help. So you understanding learning and then educating, like you're educating yourself and then
Yeah.
you're learning the process. And then the people that you're with, you know, the higher aboves, you're elevating. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I was watching something today that was really inspiring. So, and then another inspiring thing that I watched today was like, they say like practice makes perfect, you know, but I think I forgot what he said, but like practice in general, nothing's gonna be perfect.
No, nothing's going
So
to be perfect.
your practice to improve.
So if a person's
your
a
practice to have improvements. Your practice to have improvements. So nothing's gonna be perfect.
What's to be said about somebody that strives for perfection versus or is a perfectionist
I
and
think
obsesses with it, obsesses that?
I think, you know, somebody coming from me, you're gonna be unhappy.
You're going to be unhappy.
And that's
Good
just the
point.
way it
You're gonna
is,
set
you know,
yourself up for disappointment.
That's why I really enjoyed you know, working with Davin doing music because, you know, I found my happiness, you know, to see like where he's gonna take the wheel. And I found myself to be more happier.
Remember we made the
instead
list.
of just being hard on myself.
Yeah, remember we made the list of all the things that you were doing to make the music business successful, and you said, I like this, but I can do all these, Ron, but it's very difficult, and I'm not going to be efficient at trying to do everything. So now,
And then I walked in.
and then Davin walked in, and then he's been able to take over on some of those
Yeah.
responsibilities, which allows you to be the creative artist now.
Well, it allows me to be more creative, but I don't want to take anything away from his creativeness because he's really creative himself. And he doesn't get enough credit for it. And one day he will get a lot of credit for it because he is very creative.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Ronnie?
and how does the winner take a compliment?
Thank you.
He did say thank you.
Yes, but I'm just saying
In
how
general.
often people, when I give a compliment and they
blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
Yeah, and
I
then we
hate
have
that.
to, but we can always teach them like, hey, how does a winner take a compliment? Thank you.
Exactly.
And then they'll look at
No,
me and they
yeah.
go, thank you.
Yes.
They get the message. By the way, back to practice. How do you get better?
I
Here's a
wanna
joke
tell
for you.
something
I got a
real
joke
quick.
for you.
You got 5 minutes. You got 4.
Oh, I got
now.
5 minutes.
You got
Okay.
4 now.
I'm going to
So
tell a
your
joke, and then we're going to wrap things up. We're going to do a commercial. We're going to wrap things up. So the little boy was walking down. I've told this before. Little boy was walking down the street in Manhattan, New York, and he walks up to this old man. He says, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? By the way, Carnegie Hall was the forerunner of Madison Square Gardens, which is the big place where everybody gathers for big events.
MSG.
And so the kid says, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? And the old man looks at the little boy and he goes, practice, practice, practice. In other words, that's really the bottom line is how you get to where you want to get to. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be consistent, be dedicated to the cause, work hard, have good mentorship. And sooner or later, you're going to get better.
Work ethic trumps talent any day.
So now we'll go to a commercial.
Play the jingle.
Yeah, I'd like to play the same day service jingle. One call does it all. Same day service. Any rate, America's Same Day Service is one of our companies that we have, and we do home repair services, heating, cooling, plumbing, appliance, electrical, automotive repair services. So go to the website samedayservice.com in your city, and hopefully we have an outlet there that you can call and get those services done. Also, this is Soar High Personal Development, as you know, which comes to you weekly on the YouTube channel, and our website is soarhighpersonaldevelopment.com. You can see all of our podcasts that we do. On the website, it's all audio, but on the YouTube channel, it's video. Now, this is I think our 4th week of doing a video podcast,
Yes.
or 4th upload anyway. And Soar High Jiu-Jitsu, which is Mike's gym, and he's our Sensei. Is that the right thing to say? Not Sensei.
Well, no,
That's
it'd
an old
be
saying. That's an old
sensei, coach.
Okay,
Some people would say
Master.
Mike's the coach at the
master,
gym.
but I prefer to just be called coach.
Okay, there you go, Coach Mike.
You don't have to call me anything but coach.
Okay, call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. It's another dry joke.
I
Here's the
I use
best
that
one.
all the time.
I must ask you a
Oh my
question.
fucking god!
Oh, second thought, I'm going to shave it for later.
Oh my
Okay.
god!
Sorry. I had to get that in there.
Damn.
I know it's terrible.
You would
but
too.
I love that joke.
You would.
It's the funniest thing ever. I love dry
Oh,
humor.
we got 8 seconds.
Okay.
6.
So,
5,
Soar High Personal
4,
Development, Soar High Personal
3,
Development, and Soar High Jiu-Jitsu. So that's
2, 1.
that's the and Soar High Records.
And Soar High Live coming
Soar
to
High
you
Live
soon.
coming soon,
Coming to you soon.
which will be a live
Soar High
entertainment
everything.
event with all of our artists.
Soar High till I die.
Okay, now we're going to close things out. And what do you guys have to say for final thoughts?
Right now, our Soar High logo is up, playing some music. It looks good. I'm glad.
Cool.
In the in the sense of the video is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I was just being funny.
Okay.
Sorry that I'm not funny enough for you.
Well, you're getting funnier.
Oh, okay. Funny looking?
Funniest.
Well, you are kind of funny looking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you know what makes a face more attractive?
Some symmetry.
Because I had my nose done years ago in my chin, and the plastic surgeon shows this. It's all mathematics.
Yep.
Like I have a friend of mine this girl's really attractive, but her nose is like this, and I always wanted to say something, but of course I'm not going to do it. But if they would just spend a couple $1,000s, seriously, and straighten the nose out, that girl would be like dramatically more attractive. It's all mathematics, guys. It just is.
Yep.
Any rate, so much for all that.
Scientific.
Symmetry.
What do you have to say, Mike, to finish up?
I think my last thing, kill them with kindness. That's
Kill them
it.
with kindness?
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, don't be fucking rude to people.
Okay,
That's
so
pretty much it.
open the door for anybody that's even within maybe 10 or 15 feet of you. You'll be surprised. Mike's right. Usually you get a great reaction.
Yes.
Chivalry is not dead.
80% of the time.
And it's
80%
fun to
of the
watch
time.
them kind of speed up as they're walking towards you, walking towards the door. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. But there's the last thing I was gonna say. Even to like homeless people coming to you, try not to be rude to them either.
Good
And
point.
I try my best. I said God bless at the end. I don't have any money. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm broke too, just like you. But guess what? I work harder, and you need to get off your ass and work harder. But I'm not rude to them. But there are times where I'm looking at them like, look like Tales from the Crypt or a Frog Under a Rock, and I hate to judge them, but. That's just self-preservation.
When they're sitting there drinking
That's
out
just
of a
self-preservation.
bottle,
Self-preservation.
it's hard to give them any money.
It really is.
You really don't know who to give the money to and who not to. But that's another story for another.
If I place a bet, I bet on myself.
Okay, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So just remember, if you don't give up, the stars always line up. So until next time, stay positive.